Hi there. I just got a order off of my Etsy shop from a gentleman named Ben, and I'm really grateful because it's my first order off of the Etsy shop. And if you know anything about Etsy, it's kind of a long game. And specifically in my deodorant product niche, there's a number of stores that have been online there for like years and have tens of thousands of sales and like thousands of reviews. So I fully expected it to take a minute to like break into the market. But I think what is less common is the customization aspect. And so I'm really glad that this gentleman chose to take a chance on a new shop, and he reached out and asked me for a masculine scented deodorant that was woody and earthy. So we went back and forth a few times, and he mentioned that scents that he connected with in the past included cedar, vanilla, and tobacco. So I came up with a couple options for him, and he's going to try them both. So we're going to see if we can put together something kind of amazing for this young man. The cedar wood is going to be the main characteristic of this one. We're going to do one drop, literally one drop each of carrot seed and coffee to give a earthy, smoky undertone. And that's a tiny amount because one deodorant takes about 3 milliliters of essential oil. And one drop in 3 milliliters is a teeny, teeny, tiny amount. But both of those essential oils have a lot of strength and a lot of character. So we're going to start with one drop each. We're going to add benzoin for that vanilla that he called out, and it also blends perfectly with carrot seed. We're going to accent it with some vetiver, which is a very earthy, masculine aroma. And then we're going to see about adding a tiny bit of patchouli. I don't want to go all dirty hippie on this guy, but patchouli is a beautiful blending middle note. If you don't overuse it, oftentimes you don't even really smell it in the overall composition. I'm just going to take a moment to write down the formula as I go, because if he falls in love with it and wants to reorder, then I can recreate exactly the same thing that he got before, so he can have some dependability and consistency in his signature scent in the form of deodorant. Also, and I haven't told him this yet, but the custom orders are a little more expensive because it takes more personal time to get the formula together. But then reorders are at the same price, market price, that I sell a regular stick for. Man, so this first pass is pretty good. So far there's like, what, 18 drops of essential oil, and the carrot seed, like, it still kind of comes through. So we're gonna thin that out a little more. It's so good. It's like dry earth. It's like a cedar wood redwood forest in the summer. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add some patchouli. We're not gonna do too much, but I do want something just like a little bit, just like a little bit rounder. This is like the tiniest bit pointy. Oh my, it's like, it almost smells like bourbon. Like, it's so good. And it's funny because when I saw his notes about tobacco being something that he connected with, the one thing that flashed into my mind was like a gentleman's, solarium, or like cigar room, the sitting room with the crushed red velvet and mahogany and cigars and brandy or something. So I added just a little bit of black seed, which is actually cumin seed, but it has a really nice spice and earthiness to it, and it's not overpowering. It blends really well as long as you don't use too much. So I just put a few drops of that in. I am super happy with this. This reminds me of when my mom and I used to go camping at the Russian River at the redwood forests in the summer. I haven't thought about that in decades. Now we're going to work on his second one, and I recommended oak moss and fir. Fir is a very masculine, woody aroma, and the oak moss is musky and very herbaceous. And I think that the two together are going to give like an Irish Spring kind of feel. I had originally suggested black seed. We might switch that up for something else. I'm not sure if the spice is going to be quite right in that one, but we'll see. I'm going to mix up the fir and oak moss first. Fir and oak moss is pretty good. It needs some balance, it needs some earth, so actually I'm going to go with myrrh first. That's good. So after I added the myrrh, it was good. It had a little more backbone to it, but it still didn't feel balanced to me, so I added some vetiver instead, which has that like petrichor wet earth profile going on, and it's just delicious now.